Hey guys, it's Katie here with Life of the Mundane, and today I am happy to be able to come to you guys and share with you a new book that has just been released called Homeschool Bravely by Jamie Erickson. And I was able to actually snag a pre-release copy of this book to review for you guys, and I'm excited to kind of share my thoughts on it and who I think might enjoy it. So let's get started. So, like I said, a couple of weeks ago, I entered into the launch team for Homeschool Bravely. I was given a free copy just to give an honest review of, and so that's what I'm going to give you guys today, and just nitty gritty kind of my thoughts on it and let you know whether it is worth your time. So first of all, kind of judging a book by its cover. Its cover is beautiful. Guys, I love this cover. It's really inspiring. And so beautiful, but it doesn't just stop with the cover. I was actually really surprised. I don't usually think too much about how a book is laid out, but this book was actually really fun because the inside is fun too. So as you can see, for the different chapters, they have this beautiful color gold detailing here, and then all throughout the book is sprinkled these little tidbits in yellow of quotes from other homeschool influencers on the topics that she's talking about. So it kind of gives you a little bit from somebody else's perspective about the topic that she's talking about. Give it an A+ for sure on just looks and appearance wise. And as far as the actual content, I want to tell you guys, I could hide it till the end, but the truth is it's going to come all throughout this review. I am pumped about this book. I would say this is a book that I would recommend to every homeschool mom out there, that I think that every homeschool parent should read. It is real, it is raw, it is so good, and Jamie is a homeschool mom of 5 kids, so she very much understands what we're going through as homeschool moms. So I'm really excited to share, guys, just a few details about it. But I'm gonna say, before you go any further, stop what you're doing, add it to your Amazon cart or to your shopping list, your wish list of books, because you're going to want to get it. Okay, so Homeschool Bravely, what's it about? It is basically about the fears of homeschooling. If any homeschool mother can tell you, there are fears going into it. Whether you are thinking about homeschooling and you're afraid if you are capable, whether you are just starting and you're just not really sure what you're doing or whether this is the best decision, whether or not you are deep into it or you are even out of it. Kids are all graduated. This book is a book that you're going to want to read. There is stuff in here for everybody because it's talking about our fears. And as homeschool moms, we have a lot of fears. Whether it is, should I be doing this? Or is what I'm doing enough? How am I supposed to homeschool that struggling learner? What am I supposed to do when I have toddlers in the home? How do you deal with mom guilt or paying attention to what everyone else is doing in their schooling? Whatever it is, this book addresses those fears from a very, very different perspective. So throughout these chapters, she's going to explain the problem. She's going to give you a personal story. She's going to give you the solution, both heart-wise and then some tips and tricks to assist in the day-to-day. And more than anything else was how grounded it was in dealing with the heart issue of the fear, and how it is our need to trust God, and how we need to be seeking Him and relying on Him during our homeschooling. And this was just, guys, I can't even explain it. This was so overwhelmingly comforting and needed in my life. And I know, having been a second generation homeschooler and watching my mom go through it, having many, many friends that homeschool and watching them walk through their homeschool life with this, I know that these fears are very real for many, if not all, homeschool moms. And so really addressing these things at a heart issue is so, so important. One of my favorite chapters was on struggling learners, as I have several, and just kind of remembering how to encourage you as you are feeling like maybe it's never going to happen. Is this working? Am I doing enough? But also how you can help your child who's a struggling learner to really be encouraged and to see their own progress. So one of my favorite parts when she was talking about callings and all of that was that she was like, God did not call you to homeschool because you could handle it. He called you to homeschool because He could. And I think that was so freeing for me to understand that not only is God doing the work? He's calling me to be faithful and obedient and to obey his calling to homeschool my kids, but he is in charge of the end result. And I've known that before. I've even have reminders as such around my house. But one thing I think that really hit home with me was how often she talked about how God likes to use broken things. He likes to use the most unlikely people or the most unlikely tools to bring him glory. And I realized that in my homeschooling, one of my fears is that I might be messing up my kids. So for those of you who don't know my story, I'm not going to go into it in detail. I have posted it before. You can see that in the link above or below. But in a nutshell, I'm a mom of 6. I have 4 kids that are 4 years, they're a year apart each, okay? So I have a 9-year-old, an 8-year-old, a 7-year-old, a 6-year-old. They are 12 months and 2 weeks apart, roughly each, okay? And then I have my babies, and they are almost 2 and almost 1. So they are 13 months apart. My life is chaos. It's just the truth. And I think that I have had a fear that in the chaos of the different circumstances in our life, whether it was my husband switching jobs or shifts, we've changed our schoolwork a lot around his work schedule, whether or not it was going through pregnancies that were very physically tasking that took me away from the ability to be doing as much as I wanted or thought I should be doing, whether it was having to move and go through that whole process. All of these things I have felt have made me less adequate to homeschool my kids. Even though I'm very confident that that's what God's calling me to do, it has left a lot of doubt, and Satan likes to whisper in my ear about that doubt constantly. And one thing that really struck me about this book, and that was so encouraging to my soul, was that God uses broken people, messy situations. He likes to use the most unlikely sources to accomplish something because it brings him the most glory. If a mom who is running crazy all the time with 6 kids, who has had some health issues herself, who has kids who have health issues, if all of these things can happen and I can homeschool my kids, there's no way people can look at me and say, it was because you did it. Obviously, Katie, you did it. You are a fantastic mom. It's just gonna be obvious that it points to Christ. That obviously it was because of him that any of this could happen. Because if you just looked at the facts and figures, there's no way that this should be able to work. But through Christ, he has called me to do this work, and he is finishing this work for me. So I would love to read some quotes to you guys out of this book as part of this review. I will say my fear in doing that is that this video could be super long, and that honestly most of this book is highlighted. So I don't even know where to start. But one thing I wanted to read to you guys that I thought was really important was towards the end of the book. It says, "He, being God, will carry your kids from womb to tomb, and that includes all the parts that come after their education. Their stories belong to God and are covered by the blood of Christ. Homeschooling is not their savior, Christ is. So no matter what trials or temptations come their way someday, if they've put their faith in him, the final line of their story will surely read, happily ever after." And I think that was something that was really important to me, is that this book was not a formula book. This book did not come in and tell you if you do A plus B, it will always end with this result. And that as a homeschool Christian mom, that homeschooling should be your utmost important thing because this is what's going to fix your kids. She actually addresses that over and over and over again, that lie that this is the solution to everything. That if you do this, you will end up with godly biblical children, that everything will turn out okay. That is not the answer, but that's also not our responsibility. Our responsibility is to obey his faith and be faithful in his calling, and he'll take care of the rest. This is going to be one that I reread at least once a year, every year, especially in the middle of the year. I feel like there are a lot of books to get you prepped up and psyched to go for schooling, and this is the one that you read in spring break and the end of the school year when you're just dragging and you're feeling discouraged. This is the book you pull out and read. Not have to do a video on this. I just was asked if I could share an opinion on Amazon. That was all I was required to do. I'm making no commission off of the sale of this book. I just truly, genuinely loved it so much that I wanted to share an entire video on it. Wanted to encourage you mothers that are going through this journey. It is one of the hardest, but also one of the biggest blessings in going through this journey of homeschooling, and wanted to encourage you that you're not alone. There are other moms who hear you. There are other moms who are feeling the same way. And that truly, if we try to just solve our homeschooling problems, formulas and solutions, trying to find the perfect curriculum, trying to find the perfect system, we're going to be left empty. But if we are turning to Christ, if we are seeing the work that He is doing in our lives and attributing that work to Him and not to ourselves, we are going to walk away so blessed and so encouraged and be able to give that back to our kids. And I think that that's probably the most important thing. So please, Homeschool Bravely, Jamie Erickson, go check it out. Get it yourself, snag it from your library. If your library doesn't have it, you can actually request a copy, that your library gets a copy, and a lot of times they will do so. So go ask them right now and support Jamie in this book. So guys, I hope that's been helpful. I post videos every Wednesday and Saturday on making the most of the little moments in homeschooling, home management, parenting, and everything in between. And I hope you guys will subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up. If you have read the book or are thinking about getting the book, drop a comment below. I would love to hear what you guys think. And if you have videos that you want to see for the future, also feel free to drop that in the comments or shoot me an email. All my contact information is below, and I would love to do that for you guys. Talk to you later. Bye.